with a former WCW champion arrested and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Giving details on the Nature Boy Ric Flair signing with AEW, the Wrestling Observer newsletter wrote that Ric Flair signed a 2-year deal with AEW, which was actually 2 different deals. The original deal was a sponsorship deal for his Woo energy drink as the official energy drink of AEW. They had attempted to make a deal with WWE for the drink, but WWE already had an energy drink deal in place, so they went to AEW and got the deal done. Asked if there was another promotion he would like to compete in, Zack Sabre Jr. told NJPW Impact. I think Impact is the one major promotion I haven't wrestled in yet. Alex Shelley is their world champion. We've never wrestled. Chris Sabin, I don't think we've wrestled. Josh Alexander as well. That would be a great matchup for me. But definitely Mike Bailey. We've faced each other a few times, but I think we should do it on a major scale. And we both lost to Ospreay, so this would be a chance to redeem ourselves. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile made their Raw debut this week, with this noted regarding WWE plans for the trio. Ringside News exclusively confirmed that the Creed brothers were called up to the WWE main roster. WWE was also very happy with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile's main roster debut. Ringside News reached out to confirm the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile's brand home. We are told that while they have been called up to the main roster, there is no brand assignment for them yet. We've also not heard whether they have inked new main roster contracts, as Brian Alvarez stated on Wrestling Observer Radio. It is possible that they inked new deals, but that is not 100% for sure. After all, freshly called up NXT talent sometimes have to wait a bit to get those new main roster contracts. Responding to a fan that asked him to bring back his old Broken Dreams entrance theme, Drew McIntyre said this in a video.
Yep, I see the Broken Dreams comments. I love it myself. I reference it all the time. We had it at Clash at the Castle in the UK, seem to know all the words, so when it comes back at some point in the future, everybody better know the words, because I will push for it and it will be there at some point. First time I used it was the first night I heard it. I remember I was given a song previous that I didn't love. Don't know where I got the balls to say don't love this song, but they changed it, come up with a new one, and I remember standing by Vince during the day as I heard it for the first time, and he said congratulations. I got shown the graphics. I was like a horror movie for the intro, and then kicked in and I walk on out. And after watching the entrance after the show that night, I thought, alright, this is pretty freaking cool. I finally arrived. I finally feel like a WWE superstar.
When it comes to leaked plans for the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia tomorrow, HMWP wrote on X, schedule now is a Miz TV segment with Grayson Waller and a famous local personality. There is no news about the character's identity yet, but it is certain that he is not a football player. Speaking of Crown Jewel, a video of the setup could be seen, as this was posted by James_23152. As he pulled a muscle in his calf and missed the Turning Point event on the 27th, Alex Shelley said this about it on X. It's not much. I let Impact Wrestling handle big things. I just wanted to apologize to GC Wrestling and PW Revolver fans for being advertised and having to cancel. I love both companies dearly and their fan bases, and if I could wrestle, I would. Train what you can train, fix what you can fix. Acute phase healing is painful. Tissue remodeling takes time. I'm fortunate to be able to train. Haven't missed a workout yet, and I'll be okay. Now I have more time for my coaching business. AlexShelleyCoaching@gmail.com. Cheap plug. With her losing the NXT Women's title recently, this was said by the Wrestling Observer regarding the future of Becky Lynch on the brand. Lynch's NXT title loss to Lyra Valkyria was meant to be her final match in NXT. During a Ask Me Anything session on Reddit, former WWE star Mace recalled the time he was on commentary for Raw as Dio Madden and would be attacked by Brock Lesnar. Revealing what was set to take place, he wrote, so when it happened, they told me I'd just be back on commentary next week. Then they told me as I was boarding a plane to the UK that I would be selling it for a week. Then another, then another. Then they said they were going in a different direction with the commentary team. The tweet of his intention to retire Brock Lesnar was me desperately trying to not get sent back to the Performance Center like Mufasa falling to his death. Although, as I understand it, a match was discussed, but Vince said it would be confusing to the audience because they didn't know I wrestled. I was later told they changed directions because I was too big for commentary, so I eagerly awaited my big push. Taking to X, AEW World Champion MJF confirmed his relationship with internet wrestling community personality Alicia Atout in a photo writing defending the championship for people the likes of Bryan Danielson, Ethan Page, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, and soon Jay White can be mentally taxing. Find things that keep you sane, like cats and pirate hookers. Addressing those that are being critical of his comeback to WWE during the strike in Hollywood, John Cena said on After the Bell, well, that's certainly a happening that's beyond my control. So I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of things in the movie and television side lined up, none of which I can talk about, because we're in the middle of a labor dispute. Then the labor dispute happens, and the Screen Actors Guild decides to entirely go on strike, which either leaves me idle or asking questions of, well, what can I do? What is within my control? I wanted to see if it was okay to come back to tour, so we called the proper people at SAG. We got written legal okay that it would be okay to come back to WWE. Once I had that, then I can ask the question of, hey WWE, do you guys want me to come back and hang out for a little bit? So here we are. No, I just think in the beginning of the strike, and it has been going on a long time. I do hope we can find a resolve soon that everybody's happy with, but in the beginning of the strike, I think everyone was trepidatious on what can you do and what can't you do. I know along the path of the strike there have also been some situations on, well, we shouldn't do this and we should do this, and I'm very grateful to have a home in WWE. I'm very grateful for the Screen Actors Guild to allow me to be a part of it. Following his short run with NXT, Dragon Lee is now a part of Friday Night SmackDown, as this came with a new deal for the star. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that Dragon Lee signed a new main roster deal with WWE last week. As noted, Lee went to people that knew the United States scene who told him he'd be lost in the shuffle in AEW. It appears that former NXT champion Bron Breakker is believed to be the next star to be called up to either Raw or SmackDown. As the Wrestling Observer newsletter said, the Creeds and Ivy Nile were called up together to be on Raw. There are a lot of people ready for this, notably Breakker. Ringside News added that it should be noted that the newsletter likely meant that the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile made their main roster debuts on Raw. Ringside News exclusively reported that they have not been assigned brand yet, as they have also made allusions to showing up on SmackDown. That won't happen this week though, because SmackDown was pre-taped last week. Bron Breakker and Von Wagner will have a match on NXT next week, despite Wagner's fractured skull. Only time will tell how that match turns out, but if it is a blow-off for that feud, then odds are his next stop is the main roster. Revealing that a former champion in WCW has been arrested, Ringside News wrote, according to the Gaston County Sheriff's Office, Evan Courageous was arrested by Belmont Police on Wednesday, November 1st. The arrest, as documented by official records, outlined serious allegations against the former WCW star. Courageous faced charges of simple assault and injury to personal property, marking a significant turn in his public image. Following the arrest, Courageous underwent processing at the hands of the Belmont Police Department at around 1:36 a.m. and he left the place at 2:48 a.m. He swiftly secured his release by posting a $2,500 bond, allowing him to leave as soon as possible. In case you didn't know, Evan Courageous competed in WCW from 1997 to 2001, where he won the WCW Hardcore and WCW Cruiserweight Championships. He is known for his time as a member of the 3 Count alongside Shane Helms and Shannon Moore. Regardless, this is shocking news for those who knew Courageous, and we'll keep you updated on this ongoing story. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.